There is a law of spiritual reproduction. How do you multiply a Pastor David? How do you multiply a Daddy Wamba? How do you multiply a Rehambonke? How do you multiply a Billy Graham? How do you multiply a Moricerillo? All of these general, Catherine Kuma, how do you multiply them? So that when the person dies, the grace, the gift, the mandate has not vanished. God opened my eyes to understand the secret of spiritual reproduction. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, I want you to watch something. God has made all things in creation. Made all things. The last law he set for everything he made, especially living things, is the law of reproduction. Is in verse 25, not 26. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after his kind, and everything that creepeth on the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. There is a law called the law of kind. Everything you reproduce after your kind. Everything after your kind. Everything after your kind. Everything reproduce after your kind. So cows never give birth to dogs. They give birth to more cows. Dogs give birth to more dogs. Snakes give birth to more snakes. So you see mangoes, the mangoes don't give birth to coconuts. Mangoes give birth to more mangoes. Coconuts give birth to more coconuts. Whatever you are, if you're an evangelist, 1,000 evangelists or more should come out of you. If you're a pastor, 1,000 pastors or more should come out of you. If you're a believer, a disciple, 1,000 disciples or more should come out of you. Anything. You're a music minister. 1,000. If you only finish singing, you have not fulfilled your ministry. You failed in God's system of sustainability, which is reproduction. You're an intercessor. 1,000. That prayer you are doing is one thing. Multiplying prayers is the most important thing. God's strategy is not prayer. I have never seen God say, I'm looking for intercession. God's strategy is men. Men. What you hear him saying, I sought for a man. I sought for an intercessor. Who shall I send? Who shall go for us? Because if it is just intercession, it will soon vanish when you go. Once you're dead, is gone. God's strategy is not preaching. God's strategy is raising the men that will do it. As my Father has sent me, so send I you. And then he lifted his hand and said, Father, I have finished the work that you gave me. Before the cross. Before he went to the cross. John chapter 17. And one day I read that. Then I also read what he said on the cross. It is finished. So I said to Jesus, what work was finished before the cross? And what work was finished on the cross? Because two works were done. He fulfilled his own ministry on the cross and said, it is done. The work of redemption, paying and dying for our sins to bring, that is his mission on earth. He completed it on the cross. But there was another work he completed before dying. In John 17, he said, it is the men that you have given me. I have raised them. I have taught them your word. I have sent them into the world the way you sent me. Before you start talking about finishing your ministry, you must first reproduce that ministry in many other people. The work of preparing the men that will carry on after he goes is what he was talking about in John 17. So the whole chapter he now prayed for them. So when God laid the law of kind in Genesis 1:25, he now came to verse 26 to do exactly what he has said. Animals produce after your kind. Birds after your kind. Fish after your kind. Trees after your kind. Now God wants to produce after his kind. So he said, let us make man in what? In our own image. After what? Our likeness. God reproduced a God. If you understand the law of kind, you know who he reproduced. I think Dr. Ferdinand took care of that yesterday, so we don't need. What I want to now show you is the secret of reproduction. And when God reproduced a God-man, you know what he said to him in verse 28 of that same Genesis chapter 1? He said, he blessed them and commissioned them. The first law is be fruitful. Second one is multiply your kind. Reproduce and multiply your kind. You're a pastor. How many pastors have you raised? You're a leader. How many leaders have you led? Not how many followers. You're a businessman. How many business people have you raised? You're a millionaire. How many millionaires have you led? Not how much money you have. I don't care how much money you have. I want to know how many people you have empowered. You're a disciple. How many disciples have you made? You're a politician. How many young politicians have you raised?